Ah, shit. Here we go again.
And
You're over one hit. Oh, I thought you were over one. What the hell?
thank you. Good stuff.
Throughout the history of gaming, it has long been required by game developers to represent a conflict with stakes and an obstacle to overcome. And in an effort to further add stakes to their game, it is basically common practice to add a health bar similar to its real-life counterpart, albeit in a usually exaggerated state for the sake of the gameplay. And often is the goal to do whatever is required to not only survive the many hardships thrown your way, but to thrive, to keep yourself as healthy and safe as possible. But what if this concept were to be thrown away? That instead of a system that punishes you for making mistakes, it instead brings you strength the closer you find yourself to the brink of death. You don't see it a lot, but in the case of Vermintide 2, that concept has reared its holy head, dedicated to the service of Sigmar's holy light, the bringer of destruction to all that is heretical, the behemoth whom shall rain wrath upon all who stand in the way of Sigmar and the Empire. None other than Victor Saltzpyre's own Zealots. Indeed, Vermintide 2's Zealot is a standalone unique concept that brings together a pool of abilities that truly strike fear into the hearts of his enemies. His career is designed to not only get stronger the weaker he gets, but to be stubbornly difficult to take down, even when he gets to low HP. Having a quite fitting ability called Heart of Iron, the Zealot, upon taking lethal damage, absorbs not only the killing blow, but all other blows for 5 whole seconds. And during that time, no matter how much damage he takes, he will not lose even a point of health, including the health you gain. On top of that, his charged attacks cannot be interrupted, so he can keep reacting to the situation no matter what hits him, which is really good to prevent follow-up damage in rapid succession. He has the aforementioned passive ability that can increase his power by up to 30% based on his green health missing. And 2 real quick notes, any temporary health he acquires doesn't reverse the power stacks, and he can use a necklace with 20% extra health to boost his power from 25 to 30. And then he has his career skill, allowing him to charge into the fray and have an easier time dishing out damage thanks to his increased attack speed, albeit for only a small handful of seconds. Like, seriously, it's actually kinda short. Straight up Napoleon in here, am I right? Given what we already know, it's obvious to see what the Zealot has going for him. He's a unique brawler with the ability to keep fighting and fight stronger upon taking damage. I wouldn't even necessarily classify him as a tank, really. The tankiest feature the Zealot has is his Heart of Iron and health. He can't use shields, his career skill and abilities in general aren't geared towards absorbing hits, rather giving you a failsafe if the hits you take go past what normally is considered lethal. And while we're at it, I'd actually like to go on record by saying while it is common practice to lower your health at the beginning of the game, I actually prefer to take a more passive approach, letting the damage come to me naturally. Despite what the Zealot is designed for, it's always a huge morale boost to have the Heart of Iron on standby whenever I need it. It's easy to say you just need to lower your health and then just not get hit ever again in order to take full advantage of the Zealot's abilities, but it never truly is that simple. That's why I like to ease into it. I really only need 10% extra power for the infantry breakpoints, and if I go an entire mission not going below half health, all that means to me is that I never had an occasion to do so. There are certain things that only the Zealot can do, and I understand them, and in general, I have been getting better at starting with 20% power, but I really don't like going much lower than that. Moving on to Saltzpyre's talent pool, you have 2 acceptable forms of health recovery, one based on hits and another based on kills. Depending on the weapon you use, either option is good. Generally, if it has better cleave, you want Herald, and if it has good damage, you want Repent. Either one works pretty well, I'd say. Talent set number 2 is pretty interesting, and for multiple reasons. First is the absolutely hilarious talent that I have no idea how it hasn't been changed yet. Heck, even Wet Magic knows it sucks.
Trash.
Castigate is really good as it's just one more way the Zealot gets stronger when he gets weaker. 20% attack speed is nothing to squawk at, and under normal circumstances, I'd be the first to want to use it. But don't underestimate guaranteed critical hits. Unlike the Mercenary, your career doesn't come with extra crit chance, so you can take full advantage of Smite by giving your Trinket ult reduction and your melee weapons more tankability. But more than that, Smite is a very good choice for one more reason: the Volley Crossbow. If you take a quick glance at Victor's range weapons, all of them have one thing in common. They are all single fire, aside from the volley crossbow. And thanks to the volley's excellent penetration, it is really easy to spam it down a lane of even mixed hordes and farm crits, making ammo management really easy. You can make minced meat out of storm vermin patrols and monsters just by unloading a few clips of the volley from afar, and I say afar due to the reload speed. The only problem with this strategy is that the more power you have, the more damage it does, making it harder for all 3 shots to connect against lower health enemies, thus making ammo farming a bit more tedious, and if your team already has good range, it does leave you with the option of either switching to Castigate or sticking with Smite and putting Hunter on your range weapon for extra damage. Just saying. Talent set number 3 has what I would say 3 pretty good options, but if I had to choose, I'd say you want Smiter for better elites and monsters, or Enhanced Power, better for all-around damage. Sticking with the theme of your passive ability, the 4th talent set focuses on making you even stronger the less health you have, allowing you to either move 30% faster, take 30% less damage, or heal up to 90% more effectively. As far as damage reduction goes, it can be kind of counterintuitive since being at low health and then getting the damage reduction doesn't really help you unless you farm up some temporary health. And movement speed, while helpful, can make it harder for me to grasp what's going on. Lots of info to absorb, you know? Fortitude to me is the best since it lets you more effectively recover health after taking damage. Just don't get hit a bunch and you'll generally be fine. Talent set number 5 to me comes down to 2 options. Being a lot more evasive when taking damage, really freaking good, or getting all of your stamina back when taking damage, also really good. But here's where you gotta read closely. It is clear that Devotion and Redemption are geared towards helping you after you take damage, but the wording for Devotion is just a little off. You see, when I read the line, getting attacked no longer slows movement speed, I thought that meant that in general getting attacked no longer slows movement speed, not just for the duration of Devotion's activation, meaning the first time you get hit, you're still slowed to a crawl, which also just so happens to mean that for an unacceptable duration of Devotion, you can't move anywhere. So realistically, you only actually have around 1.5 seconds of Devotion unless you get hit when Devotion is already active, at which point you might as well be pouring gasoline on the fire. And to me, it's just kind of awkward, and for that reason, I gotta go Redemption. 100% stamina on hit is just too valuable to give up. And then there's good old talent set number 6. Let me simplify it for you. You want Feel Nothing or Flagellant Zeal. Long have been the cries of those complaining over the Zealot's ult duration of 5 measly seconds. You want to fix that? Use Zeal. But if you want to make yourself even more stubborn, then go Feel. In fact, that clutch you saw at the beginning of the video could not have been done without Feel. Right here, you'll see that Feel is active, I get hit twice, which easily could have put me under, but I got to live because of it, and thus freeing me to complete the clutch. So if you're learning the ropes for Zealot, probably stick with Feel, but if you're confident in your play, go Zeal. Just make sure not to get too aggressive when ulting in rapid succession. The bloodlust can be very real if you catch my meaning. And as far as melee weapons go, I was actually able to excel with quite a few of Victor's melee weapons, but as per usual, I just wasn't satisfied with one or many of the elements each of his options had to offer. The Axe and Falcon does pretty good damage, so Repent would actually be a more serviceable talent in place of Herald, but predictably lacking in the cleave department. The Falcon aspect of the Axe and Falcon was what had good cleave, but even that by itself wasn't quite enough for me. The Greatsword and Flail are both usable outside of the damn fact that the first swing takes flippin' ages to start. The 3 weapons I have found genuine success with were the Billhook, Barden's Ripoff Dual Hammers, and the Rapier, as always. The Billhook's health regen isn't amazing, and its synergy with the volley is pretty low, so I'd rather just stick with the other 2. And just like that, episode 12 of the Career Showcase series is in the books. The Zealot is, similar to the Sister of Thorn, truly a unique playstyle if there ever was one. I don't see too many Zealots in play nowadays, especially if there's always a risk of running into a rejuvenating Locust Waystalker or a health regen Grail Knight, and while the Zealot may be outshined by the Witch Hunter Captain and maybe even the Bounty Hunter, he really isn't a pushover. He has a stat line that can hold up to either of them, and he gives his life's blood in order to keep up. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in episode 13. Later, peoples!
So thinking about it, like, I used to have a bunch of handmade footage and stuff. It's so old now, I probably can't use any of it. It was recorded all the way back, like, when I made the first Corellian video. That's good enough. The one I'm looking for. You ever be like in the shower or something? You think about like, and I feel I almost feel weird when I say it, but I hate whenever people use the like term ass. Oh, I got this. No.
Kill that person, guys.
We're dead.
Guys, guys, this is unfortunate for me. Ah.
You can do it.
Just get to the rest of the people. Oh, there's only 3 people.
They activated the chest and it just killed us.
Yes.
Alright, guys. You just gotta clutch it. It's just the four of you clutch it.
Oh, there's 2 bosses.
Honest, you gotta clutch it.
Thank God one of them's an iron breaker.
Slayer can do it.
You gotta put under cover, you're fine.
Come on, Slayer, do it. Do the gamer.
Ow! I got enough of a head and died. Fuck, I'm not gonna get the booms.
We're all inside of each other.
Zach,
Only we are one.
time to clutch it like you clutch everything else. With a death grip.
It's my dick, haha.
Behind,
Zach,
Two Dwarf only remake the Hobbit 3 battle scene. I'll try.
Clutch my balls in your mouth.
But how exactly did you guys get out of bounds?
Out of bounds.
Yeah, I
No one
told you
got out of
saying.
bounds there.
I told you saying
No
you were out
way.
of bounds.
No way.
No way.
That's actually-
Avondale, release
If
me.
they stop shooting at him. If they stop shooting at him, I hate Rattling guns. I hate Rattling guns.
Close. So
Yeah,
It was like everyone in the
With a
same
different
spot,
stat.
just having casual sex with me.
It's a Skaven bondage orgy.
You just gotta. You just.
Yes!
Screamers!
The streamer is alive! Streamer!
The streamer!
Do something useful for all.
Oh shit.
I'm not participating. Good luck, everyone. That's not me.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Door stuck!
Door stuck!
Please!
Door stuck! Please!
Please!
I beg you! We're dead!
Bag him! Oh fuck, I already died.
I can clutch again.
Respawn point. We bought you.
You can clutch again. Do it.
No!
In the 90s.
I already died. I
No.
just used a nuke and died.
This is such bullshit.
Behind you.
I mean, it's a rankless roll, so.
Okay, grab my dog. Shoot!
Oh, no.
Oh,
That troll literally pinned me in
Oh,
the
that's
corner
the wrong
and said,
way.
Fuck you. I couldn't do anything.
Dash!
Fuck you,
Dash!
little man.
Ah, I'm gonna get it again! I may not get it again. Ah, I didn't die,
Baggy
bro.
so unfortunate.
Didn't do enough
Wait a minute,
damage.
we've got one still up.
We gotta
Bishop,